Alright, welcome back. So let's take a look at what's going on in the garden here. It's probably been about 3 or 4 weeks since we last updated, and there have been a couple of things that have happened, so want to kind of keep log of that. First of all, let's start with a common denominator, which are my beautiful dragon fruit seeds, or pitaya. So these are very slow growers, I've noticed, but we do have little spiky tops. Very cool. Even these guys here that started a little bit later are starting to get some spikes here, just a little bit, and they'll, within the next couple days or so, they'll get to be about the same size as these guys over here. Very cool. So very happy about that. I kind of thought they would grow a little bit faster while they were young, but you know, whatever have you. I'll let them just kind of do their thing. They're doing well. Also, common denominator is a mango, which I remember from the first time I grew mango is very, very slow to start. But we have 2 stems now growing up. This one on the right side, I don't think is really going to do anything else at this point. But this one is growing quite vibrantly. Only just shot up in the last week or so, and has already got some leaves starting out here, shooting out here, and that is most likely going to wind up being its main stem. So very happy about that. So I had, this is also that basil plant that I had topped. I don't know if I had done that on the last video or not, but it is growing nice, big and strong, very healthy, looking really good. I'm probably going to top it again here in the near future, so that instead of 2 tops, I get 4. And then maybe again in the future. And then instead of 4, I'll have 8, etc., etc. The more you use basil, the bigger it gets. So I'm very happy with that. Now I had those little egg yolk tomato plants. I had 3 all in the same pot. This guy got really huge and kind of starting to take over the other 2, so I decided to go ahead and split them up. So this one is now the biggest, but it's in its own pot here, and I have the other 2 right here and right here. Okay, and the figs are doing very nicely. This one I did go ahead and repot into another plant. It is living and it is doing just fine, but it has not yet started to put out new leaves just yet. It still kind of was just recovering from the transplant. However, just yesterday I started to notice that the very end of the stem here, I don't know if it's going to come out very well on this, is starting to split open so that new stems, new leaves can start to come out. So that's good news. It means it's fully recovered from the transplant. That means I got to do that with this one now too. But I've never really worked with fig before. Extremely easy to take cuttings from. A little bit more work to keep it alive during transplant, but you can see the roots in this are going crazy. It is very healthy below the water line. So I'm hoping having more roots when I do the transplanting will kind of help with the situation. So we'll see. At very least, I'm sure I can keep it alive. It just may have a little bit of transplant shock. So I did also just now start some seedlings here. Nothing popping up just yet, but these are for some purple cherry tomatoes. Hoping to get those to pop up in the near future and get those to kind of grow up alongside these egg yolks. This is the Thompson's grape. Doing well so far. My first attempt at doing a cutting of the Thompsons I did outside, and it was blistering hot out, and no matter how wet I kept it, it was too hot, and it died. So I went and got another cutting, and this one I'm keeping inside under the lights, at least until it roots out. It's been in here for probably about 2.5 weeks or so, so it's doing pretty well. It's a little limp, which is, to be expected. It's, it's a transplant. It's still trying to find its way, and it has yellowed a little bit in some of the lower leaves. That's okay. I'm okay with that. but I have started to now add a little bit of organic nitrogen-rich fertilizer to help it kind of spread out its roots. You may have noticed that all of those fancy doodads that I had with all the little mini greenhouses with the Ziploc bags over all those citrus that I was trying to transplant, well, they didn't work out so well. And I had 2 guava plants. I cannot for the life of me seem to get guava plants to take root from cuttings. I don't know exactly what I'm doing wrong with them, but I just can't seem to do it. So I'm going to try it from seed when my host's guavas get ripe. I'll try it that way. But for now, only one survived. And I'm pretty sure this is a Meyer lemon, yes, it started putting out new leaves, and I could see that even under the dome. So I went ahead and removed the dome, and it is still growing and putting out leaves fruitfully. So I'm very happy with that. And then these 4 are my key limes that are all doing quite well. This one is really kind of my primary key lime that I've taken the best care of. It has been in the ground the longest amount of time. These guys are kind of a little bit weird. They've got a little bit of root sticking out of the ground. I germinated them for a little bit too long, but they looked fairly healthy anyway, so I went ahead and stuck them in some soil, and they seem to be surviving, thriving, doing pretty well. So whatever, I'm going to let them try. And this guy was also just grown directly from seed, but he's a little deformed. At least his first leaves are a little bit deformed. So we'll see what happens with that. If the next couple sets of leaves are also a little bit on the deformed side, I'm probably going to go ahead and pull them, because that usually is not a great sign for the remaining lifetime of the plant. But apart from that, everything else, I don't really remember what else I had in here a month ago. Oh, and this is that same other basil plant that was over here. For whatever reason, it's growing fine, it's very healthy, but it's remaining very small. May have to do with root space, I'm not sure, but yeah, just tiny little basil plant. But anyway, I don't really remember what other plants I had going on in here, but if they're not here, they're dead. So, yeah. 'Tis the life, I guess. But anyway, so that's what's going on in the indoor garden. Feel free to ask any questions or anything like that. I'm happy to answer or try to help out anybody that I can. I'm here in Tucson, Arizona, and it is, it's the very beginning of September here. So I'm getting ready to put a few things in the ground outside. We are very lucky here. We get theoretically 3 seasons actually in Tucson. So hopefully I can get all these kind of ready for putting in the ground as soon as I have ground ready for them. So yeah, all right. Happy gardening.